What's up, people? It's your boy Carlos Forche, and you're watching the Blue Forche television channel. Listen, I'm going to review. I'm a bit late on this because a um, tournament, football tournament on Sunday, uh, Regent's Park. It was pretty good, seven aside. We got to the semi-finals and we lost on penalties, unfortunately. Um, but we won all our group games and everything was lovely. We only conceded one goal in the whole tournament, and that was in a 1-1 draw. That was one of the group games. We didn't lose any games. We won three and drew two. Drew three, should I say, because we drew in the semi-final. But like I said, it wasn't to be. We went to penalties and lost on penalties. But um, you know, we're second in the league. Um, I think we're 2 points off the top. So, we've got a lot to do. Um, but these tournaments only come round once in a while. So, and it was my first one. It was in under this, under this format. It was pretty good. Didn't play in my natural position, but it was really good. Everybody put in a shift, and it was a really really good tournament. But so when I got back, I had to literally watch the Arsenal game. I was just shattered. I was shattered on Sunday, shattered on Monday again. I went straight back to training on Monday, futsal training, and yesterday it all sort of caught up with me. It really went for a big power nap. So I'm going to review Chelsea's our game against Arsenal and all the matches from match week 13. And then I'll do another live, more or less 5 minutes afterwards, reviewing our game against Leeds today. Later on today, it's six in the morning now, but we're playing later on today. I don't know what time it is. I'll check in a minute. But I'll review that afterwards and all of match 14's results and all the rest of match week 14's games and fixtures. Sorry. So, first of all, the game against Arsenal, I thought we would win 2-0. And according to the lineups and everything, I thought we was well on our way to doing that. We played a 4-2-3-1. Sanchez in goal, Costo on the right, Fofana at right centre back with Chalobah left centre back. Ugrea was up front. We had Caicedo at left central midfield, Reece James, captain at right central midfield. Pedro Neto was on the left wing. So I was really, really happy about that. Fernandez in the 10, Esteval on the right wing, and Yao Pedro front. I really thought, it's going to be a tough game, but boy, it wasn't to be. Arsenal went with a 4-3-3 because they were. I suppose they do play 4-3-3. They have done. They don't play 4-2-3-1. Not ultra defensive, but they needed to have a 4-3-3 against us. So it was always going to be a tough game. They had Raya in goal, Timber at right back, Mascara right centre back, and which was really good. I like Mascara. I know a lot of people don't. Arsenal fans love it. I think it's actually quite good. and they had in a car in a copy. I think in a, in Charpy. Sorry, in Charpy. I know this. Yeah, it's in Charpy. That's how they pronounce it. Sorry, that's how it's pronounced. At left centre back, Calafiori at left back. The three in the midfield were Eze on the right, Zubimendi in the middle, and Rice on the left. And up front, they had Saka on the right, Marino in the centre, and Martinelli on the left. Saka was captain in the side. Obviously, he is on a 300 grand a week contract, um, making him one of the highest players in the Premiership. I did say that. I know some people don't like to admit it, but I did feel that he would, Kukurea would have, it would wrap, it really would tie Saka as he has done. So he was able to tie Yamal. And yeah, man, Kukurea is he's just adding names to his list. The game itself it wasn't even cagey. It was nice and free flowing. And we were well on our way to doing our thing. Um, 0-0 at half time. Um, and it was just pretty, I don't know, like everything was okay up until, I've got to be honest, until the we had a lot of energy in intervals in the first half. But afterwards, possession wise, obviously, because we had 10 men, Arsenal were they weren't controlling the game. I'm not saying we were outplaying them with 10 men, but they struggled to beat us. Well, they didn't beat us, but they struggled to even attempt to beat us. And we had 10 men. We had 38% possession. They had 62% possession. That's obviously because we were a man down. No Caicedo in. We had more shots on goal than Arsenal. 11 shots on goal. They had 8. We both had 4 each on target, 3 corners each, 3 saves each from goalkeepers. Um, you know, we had 33% of our crosses, of our 15 crosses completed. They had 27% crosses completed. But again, this is largely down to them having 11 men and us having 10. Out of our total passes, 80% of them were completed, 84% for Arsenal. We had 279 passes to their 463. 61 long passes, 43 of them completed. Arsenal, 40 long passes, 28 completed. How do you struggle against Chelsea and Chelsea got 10 men, not like no Caicedo. 1 through ball from Arsenal. We had 458 touches of the ball. Arsenal 620, but again, largely down to them having an extra person in the midfield. We had 20 touches inside opposition box. They had 23. I'm not really big on stats either, but in games like this, when it comes to Arsenal, I am, because they're always telling us about defense. They got the best defense. I think we've got the best depth in defense. Maybe not disciplinary wise, we're not the most disciplined. We're very ill disciplined. I think we're the worst in the Premiership in terms of disciplinary. But again, we're a physical side, and that's what I expect We had 16 like dribbles to Arsenal's 12. Five each were successful. Either side, they had five. We had five that were successful. We won 58 duels. You know what I mean? They won 44 duels in the all over the pitch. The aerial duels, we got 29 to their 12. Again, I'm only saying this because our Arsenal fans were quick to bring up the disciplinary stuff. There were 12 fouls from us, 13 from Arsenal. We got one yellow card. Arsenal got six yellow cards. So all that stuff about I know we got a red card, yes, and they didn't, but they got six yellow cards, man. So I don't know. We're ill disciplined, but I would rather it happen if it means we're at home, we're under. Sorry, we don't lose at home to Arsenal, to our rivals. Then I'm cool. In terms of offsides, we had one. Arsenal had three, and I don't know. We are ill disciplined, but if we win games, continue and draw games like this, big games, I'm fine with it. Um, Trevor Chalobah scored in the 48th minute, basically the third minute of the second half, a header from a set piece. As you know, Caicedo was sent off in the first half after 38 minutes, and that should not have been a red card. The momentum of the tackle is what caught his leg. It wasn't intentional. You could tell from the way that he tackled. Um, it wasn't like he just went straight for his ankle. It was the momentum of the slide tackle that caught him, and it should have been a yellow. Um, just like the one we got in the Champions League a month or two ago, when I forget who it was now that got red carded. And the guy didn't even touch the guy's Achilles, and we got a red card. I forgot who it was. I think was it Boanorte? It was somebody. I forgot, but we got a red card, and I was thinking he didn't even touch the guy. I just think I don't know why Anthony Taylor again, but Anthony Taylor, I don't know. That was a yellow. I don't know if he was under pressure from the FA to issue that red card, but it made no sense to me. It should have been a yellow, a stern warning, maybe a 2 weeks fine just for. I mean, what could he do? It was a tackle. Um, he did go for the ball. There was no malice or intent. And you can kind of tell because he kind of turns his face. So it's not like he knew that he was going to collide in some way, but he didn't, it wasn't malicious. He didn't really go in there with malice and go to take out his ankle. Very silly, but yeah, after 48 minutes, the third minute of the second half, we got a goal from a set piece, Chalobah, and then Marino scored in the 59th minute to draw a level. And after that, we wrapped up Arsenal in the spliff. I'm not. Yeah, I'm just being honest. Like we didn't. They weren't able to really penetrate our defense, and it was just dead. The momentum of the game was dead after that. There's not too much I can say. I can't really. There's not too much I could draw from it. There was a lot of talk from Arsenal fans before they were going to do this. We're a shit club. Rare. They haven't. No disrespect to no Arsenal fan, right? There's some good, decent Arsenal fans, and there's some dickhead Arsenal fans. But it is what it is. It's a London derby. We're fierce, competitive rivals. We've done things that Arsenal haven't. Arsenal never won the Champions League, never won the World Cup. the World Club Cup, should I say. What have they done? What have Arsenal done in the last 20 years that Chelsea haven't? Um, yeah, London is blue. It still remains blue. We just have to go back to the drawing board, really. But yeah, it was a good game. Didn't live up to the hype of what it could have been, what it should have been. I think with Caicedo on that pitch, um, we beat Arsenal. We beat him 2-0, but I was wrong. My prediction didn't come through. And like I said, we move onwards and upwards now. And pardon me, we go back to the drawing board a little bit. Maybe discipline needs to be implemented, but I just don't want it to take away from our title challenge. Um, we played so well up until that record, and Arsenal were cagey as hell. They were cagey. They knew we were coming for them. And Anthony Taylor, I don't know if he's on the payroll or whatever. It is what it is, man. We got hard, and it just changed the game. Really took the fizz out of the game. It's quite flat after that. But it was flat, but in a sense, it was hyped up, and there's nothing we can do. Um, the rest of the weekends, last weekend, Matchweek 13's fixtures ended up with, like I said, Brentford beating Burnley 3-1. Igor Thiago scoring in the 81st minute, and then Fleming equalising in the 85th minute with a penalty. Igor Thiago scored again a minute later in the 86th minute to make it 2-1 for Brentford. And our Tara scored in the second minute of extra time at the end, the 92nd minute, to make it 3-1. Man City beat Leeds last weekend, 3-2. A goal from Vardio in the 25th minute. Calvert-Lewin scoring in the 49th minute. No, sorry, my bad. Let me go back. Phil Foden scored in the first minute to make it 1-0. Vardio scored in the 25th minute to make it 2-0. And in the second half, it was Calvert-Lewin in the 49th minute. And the Mecha, I think it's Mecha, scored in the 68th minute to draw a level for Leeds before Phil Foden scored in the 91st minute to make it 3-2. It was a big, big, big win for Man City. Sunderland, they beat Bournemouth 3-2. I thought Bournemouth were gonna win that match. Adley, scored in the 7th minute for Bournemouth to make them 1-0 up. Adams then scored in the 15th minute to take them 2-0 up before Lefy scored a penalty in the 30th minute. It was 2-1 at half time, of course. And then Traore scored in the first minute of the second half, in the 46th minute, to make it 2-2. And Brobby finished off the game by scoring in the 69th minute. And Cook for Bournemouth got a red card in the 96th minute. Again, that game sort of gave me vibes of Burnley and Liverpool, but it was a good game. Sunderland proved me wrong. They were able to beat Bournemouth. Everton played Newcastle last week as well, beating Everton 4-1. Tior scored in the first minute to put Newcastle up 1-0. Miley scored in the 25th minute to make it 2-0. Walter Mayday scored in the 45th minute to make it 3-0. And in the second half, Tio scored in the 58th minute to put them 4-0 up. And Drewsbury Hall got a consolation goal in the 69th minute to make it finish 4-1. Tottenham were beaten on Saturday. 2-1 by Fulham. Tete scoring in the 4th minute and Wilson scoring 2 minutes later in the 6th minute to put Fulham up 2-0 before Kudos got a consolation goal in the second half, 59th minute. That was all on Saturday. On Sunday, Sunday gone, I obviously was at the tournament until I got back for the Chelsea-Arsenal game, but I saw the news. I thought Palace were going to do an upset on Man United, but Man United, somebody from Man United must have heard the video that I put out because they were able to beat Crystal Palace 2-1. And Man United, you would expect to beat Crystal Palace 2-1. Mateta scored a penalty in the 36th minute to put Crystal Palace up 1-0 before half time. And then in the second half, Zerchi, for the first time in God knows how long have I seen him on the pitch for Man United, scored in the 54th minute from a very tight angle down the left side with his left foot. Very, very good technical ball. And Zerchi should be playing a lot more. He should be starting a lot more games for Man United. So hopefully that's the first of many for Zerchi. He's a really good player. And yeah, I don't really like seeing him on the bench for Man United. It's a quality striker. More of a number 10, but he's so big and physical and technical. It's not just about size and strength, but he knows how to use his size and strength. Good to see him there. Mason Mount scoring the goal in the 63rd minute to bring Man United up 2-1. That was a good game for them. They got their result. Aston Villa beat Wolverhampton Wanderers, like I said. They would, 1-0. Kamara scoring in the 67th minute. Nottingham Forest, they were at home to Brighton. And Brighton beat them, like I said, they would as well. I don't know if it's De Kuiper or De Kuiper, should I say, scoring in the first minute of extra time in the first half to bring Brighton up 1-0. And then Zimas scored in the 88th minute to bring Brighton up 2-0. West Ham, I did say Liverpool would beat West Ham, and I'm glad they did. It was 0-0 in the first half. In the second half, Isak got a goal finally for Liverpool in this. I think that's his first goal for Liverpool, second, first in the Premiership, from what I remember, or maybe second in the Premiership. But yeah, he finally got a goal for Liverpool. Really starting to live up to that price tag in the 60th minute. Cody Gakpo got a goal in the second time to bring Liverpool 2-0 up. Yeah, they went on to win the game. Lucas Paqueta got 2 yellow cards. He got a yellow card, like almost 2 yellow cards in a row. And he was just arguing with the ref and he wouldn't shut the fuck. And in the end, he got a second yellow, got deserved. That was in the 84th minute. I've told you the Chelsea score already, and that rounded up all the games for the Premiership. Because nobody played. I'm going to break this video up, and I'll talk about when I review our against Leeds, I'll also talk about the games that happened yesterday. Um, Yesterday, the 2nd of December. And if, boy, was there a lot to talk about. It was really good game between Fulham and City. I won't ruin it. I'll come back in a second, straight after this. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Now StreamYard have introduced a reshare, so I'll be able to go on Instagram. I will link up my Instagram, hopefully, with I could do it probably from here. I'll link up my Instagram um, with my YouTube platform, and that should help the analytics a lot more, because I don't use TikTok. I don't have a Twitter, Facebook. Unfortunately, I have too many of those things anymore. Just got this and Instagram. And yeah, please like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm going to re-upload all my lives as videos. I don't know if that will help. I think it's a waste of time, really, but maybe I might have to do that, as when people see my channel, they just think there's one video, but there isn't. There's, I don't know how many lives, countless lives. And yeah, I'll leave it there, and stay tuned for the next live. I'm out.